Today we're going to be discussing elements to keep you positive. We're going to be talking about self-care, meditation, some affirmations, mirror work, and all things healing.
Hey guys, this is Evelyn.
This is Natalie.
Welcome back to our podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And stay tuned, guys. This episode's going to be very interesting. We made it very special for you, so we hope you tune in and stay throughout the whole thing. First off, if you haven't heard the other episodes, please listen to them, check them out. We do share our breakup story. We share, lesbian talk, sex, dating advice. We also talk about some toxic traits in relationships, how to communicate, and we talk all the way back to our childhood trauma and Hispanic culture, right? So we talk a little bit about everything, and we share a lot of personal things as well. So if you want to get to know us a little bit better, go check those out. And today, guys, we're going to be doing something a little bit more different, but Natalie is going to go ahead and tell you more about it.
So today we're going to be talking about all things about self-love and self-care and basically how you can get started and what you can do. And we're going to share a little bit of our personal experiences like we have in every episode.
All right, guys. So just to get started, just to get straight into this episode, we really want to talk about loving yourself. How do we love ourselves? How can you start loving yourself? What is loving yourself right now?
What is love? I'm just kidding.
What is love? All that good stuff. But we really want to talk about loving yourself, right? What does that mean to you, Nat?
So for me, the definition of love, it could be like, I'm in love with my partner. I love my family. But in all true reality, have you thought about, do I love myself? Do I truly love myself? Am I kind to myself? Am I my own cheerleader? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Basically every day.
Mm-hmm.
Or am I the opposite? Am I kind of just covering up things here and there to minimize my wrongs that I'm aware of? Because only you know what you do and what you think exactly. So what things are you doing now to change that perspective of yourself for tomorrow? To make you a better person for yourself, right? So a lot of the times, and I'm just going to say, speaking for myself, be honest with yourself. What does that mean? It doesn't only just literally mean like be honest with yourself. It means like be honest with your thoughts, right?
Yeah.
How you truly, really, really feel about yourself. Have you been mean to yourself lately? It could be simply by trying on an outfit at the store and you hating how it looks on you. In all honesty, those are not true, kind words. And believe it or not, your subconscious is constantly picking up on these things. So, and we're gonna get more into, deeper thoughts on that, but it starts becoming your reality, right? It starts becoming your everyday.
The more you say it, the more you believe it, the more it becomes true. So you have to be very careful with your words and what you say about yourself and how you treat others. And for example, like, sometimes you wake up really upset in the morning and you're like, fuck this, fuck that. What are you going to expect later that day? Things are going to go bad.
You start running late.
Traffic. You spill your coffee on your white shirt. Crazy shit like that. But it does add on. So what Natalie is trying to say is practice those kind words. It could be super small. But the moment that you start treating yourself different, and by what I mean by treating yourself different is talking to yourself with love, with kindness, with positive words like, I look beautiful. I love my body. I am grateful that I can breathe. I am grateful that, I'm healthy, that I'm breathing, that I can eat, that I can move.
And it can be, the simplest things. I have beautiful eyes. I will get through my weight loss goal. I will get through, eating healthy. this food is going to suit me, suit my body the best way, and whatever needs to be wasted will be a waste. My body does everything for me. So those are the things that we kind of need to start practicing on an everyday basis, because they will definitely determine how different our world is tomorrow. And how, for example, if things are getting hard at work, or if things are getting hard with our relationships, our personal relationships, and maybe friendships or family relationships, like, it all depends on how we think of ourselves, because that's the love that we're going to be able to offer someone else that is in need, or someone else that feels lost, and we're all about making this world a better place. So.
Right. No, you're right. And, just to continue this conversation and adding more detail to this, self-care, right? We also need to do small things that help us feel better about ourselves, right? Because then that leads to loving yourself. Mm-hmm. That leads to thinking a little bit more positive. So self-care, can you give us a little bit more examples of self-care? Like what do you do on a daily basis, Nat?
Okay, so now, and I'm so excited, I was like literally holding my breath. So now I've been doing more of some meditating in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. When I started meditating, I really didn't know what the hell I was doing, guys. Like, I really did not know, but you shared that with me, and I was a little lost before, but you kind of opened and guided me through the right way. So thank you so much for, first and foremost, being a nice and beautiful friend to me, because that means everything. And so I started meditating and just calming my thoughts, and usually that helps, like, with people with anxiety. And honestly, I can genuinely say that 90% of us probably have or suffer from anxiety. It could be very small fragment to like widespread anxiety. And this is not to judge anybody, but I mean, speaking for myself, I also have anxiety sometimes. It could also, be when you're driving, when you're taking exams, if you're going to go for a job interview, and meditating has helped me kind of slow down my thoughts, because literally I sometimes think that I want to do everything all in one day. And we've had this talk multiple times. So I try to meditate in the morning. It doesn't have to be longer than 10 minutes. Of course, if you do have the time, then by all means, but at least like 10 minutes a day.
And just to talk about the meditation part, a lot of people think meditation and they freak out. They freak out because they're like, oh my God, like I can't sit there by myself. Like my thoughts are going to go crazy. My thoughts are going to go all over the place. How can somebody stay focused and start the meditation process?
For me, it was really difficult at first to slow down my thoughts, as I'm sure it is for anybody who's just starting. And meditating, I used to have a weird relationship with it, because I understood that meditating was more like me trying to go to this other universe. And it truly just honestly starts with the way that you're breathing. It just starts with the way that you're breathing and focusing on your breathing. So what I do in the morning, I know it's like short-lived because it's like 10 minutes, but I try to get as relaxed as possible, and I try to meditate first thing in the morning before I start thinking about all these things that I have to get done. So the first thing I'll do is I'll lay down flat. I will not use any pillows. My legs are going to be straight. And usually I put my hands in a comfortable position beside me, and I'll face them upward, right? Towards the sky, as if I'm receiving what I'm asking for, as if I'm receiving the calmness and the serenity from the meditation itself. And I'll start this by taking in deep breaths and just trying to focus on taking deep breaths. I try not to think about exactly what I'm asking for or what I'm meditating on at first, for the first 2 minutes, just so I can calm myself down.
Because the first goal, guys, is to just relax and get your body in a relaxation energy, in a relaxing mode, so that you can start focusing. Because if you get nervous, then your heart starts beating fast, and then you get off track there. But the more relaxed you are, the better. That's why it's always better to lay down, just like Natalie does, or sometimes people sit down. Sometimes people do it, laying down on a bed or on a sofa. It doesn't really matter, right?
Whatever's comfortable for you.
As long as you're super comfortable, relaxed, and it's quiet, right?
It has to be very quiet, because as it is, our thoughts are very loud. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be in an environment where on top of you fighting your thoughts, you're also fighting like your surroundings and the sounds that you hear. So definitely that's what I do at the very beginning of every meditation. Will I tell you that I'm successful every morning with every meditation? No, some days are more difficult than others, but the good thing is that you can always try it again the next day or later on that day if you have time.
I would recommend to do it maybe 1 or 3 times a day, right? But it's always amazing to just do it once in the morning and always early in the morning. If your schedule's a little bit different, do it first thing when you wake up. That way you can start connecting with yourself. And that is, I would say that's like one of the first steps to loving yourself, right?
Yeah, because you're giving yourself that time to really process, or not even process, but to really just put your mind at ease for your day. Even if you're meditating a few times a day, maybe a short period of time, you're already winning by just starting. That's part of giving yourself that time to calm your thoughts, right? In a busy world that we live in, sometimes it's very difficult to do that. And I think it would be amazing if you start today. Another thing that we wanted to discuss with self-care is journaling. Now, I know it's kind of hard to sit there every morning, especially if you have kids, or especially if you have a demanding job, or if you're a business owner, and
or simply you just don't like to write.
Yeah, but even if they're very small thoughts that can get you going in the morning, just journaling in the morning. If something makes you upset, instead of like reacting to it, maybe writing it down. Of course, keep all your stuff to yourself. And I know this is kind of like a cliche, but it really does sometimes help you relax with your thoughts, and they don't really like, your emotions don't get out of control and they don't get out of hand if you write it down.
I totally agree with you, Nat. I like to journal. I think it's a great exercise. I know it sounds a little silly, but I think it's a really great one. I definitely agree with you. I feel like, me personally, I like to write down things that I'm grateful for. It helps me reflect on things, and it just helps me write things on paper. It's just different than like typing them down or, sending a text to your friend. It's like just having a moment to reflect on yourself and just seeing the things that, you're a little bit upset about. Kind of like it's therapeutical as well. And let's talk about affirmations. Like, we've all seen them on TikTok and they're making fun of them. Like when they're like, you're beautiful, you're awesome. Your mouth is so powerful.
Affirmations, for as silly as they sound, your subconscious is constantly like listening to that. So what are you listening to on a daily basis?
The type of music, right?
Yeah. Or maybe listening to people being very judgmental on social media. Like, no, like you need to be positive and do positive affirmations. And they could vary from like personal affirmations to like health to like eating habits. Well, one of the things that I wanted to share is that I started doing like the meditating. And like I said, granted, like sometimes I know that, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to work or to still commute. I would definitely like start my meditation, even if it was like 5 minutes long and I was like rushing with all my stuff. I would try to do my affirmations as like I'm walking out of my house, and going to my car, and like I'm still, saying self affirmations of like, I'm gonna get to work safe. I'm very qualified for what I do. I have a very good position right now where I'm at. I'm gonna have a great day. Yeah. Things like that. But even if you say that you don't have time, there's always ways for you to make time for these little things.
Yeah, and it's even better than listening to like, negative hip hop music or just low vibrational songs, because they don't help you. They honestly don't help you. You need to be listening. Why are you going to be listening to, negative shooting, killing songs when you could be listening to, guided meditations or simply even, positive affirmations for yourself? I think that can definitely change the energy and the vibration for yourself and in your life immediately.
So another thing that I wanted to share with you, and I even felt silly for sharing this with you, but I started doing a lot of mirror work. Yes. No, this is not witchcraft, okay? But I started doing a lot of mirror work, and I started being kind, but also being kind to myself when I was looking at myself in the mirror. So for example, if there's a certain area of my body that I wasn't too comfortable with, I started talking nice to it. And it's a little weird. It feels a little weird. And most of the times that I was speaking to myself while I'm getting dressed or brushing my teeth, I was doing it mostly like in my thoughts, like within my thoughts, you know what I mean? So it could be very specific as like, you know, if you have a problem area with your stomach, you know, thank you, stomach, for digesting, you know, the foods that are not good for me. Thank you for digesting the foods that are good for me and making me stronger. I love you. I don't know, for those of you who have, you know, had an increase in weight or have become moms recently or whatever the case is, you know, thank you, stomach, because, you know, you're so tight, because all of your stretch marks are going to disappear. You know, and those are the kind of things that I started practicing with my problem areas or the things that I felt insecure about.
No, you're definitely right. Your body, your cells will listen to you. They do listen to you constantly throughout the day. So it's really important to be very positive to your body and reassure yourself, and, you know, be affirming these things. Do these mirror works, do the affirmations, do the journaling, and you're definitely going to see the difference. You're going to feel different just by feeling different the next day, the couple next hours, just by knowing that you have the power to change the energy in the room.
It's very powerful.
That's amazing. But we can do it. And you know, it's hard work. It's not like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna do it. No, like, it takes work, it takes practice, and as long as you're consistent, that's the key, I think, just like with everything else, right? Another thing that a lot of people don't like to talk about, right, is being active. And I really want to get very specific with this main topic because, I mean, it can be anything, right? I can say the word active and you already immediately thought the gym, working out, right?
Yeah.
And it can honestly just be anything else. It can be, you know, as simple as walking. It can be, you know, swimming or hiking or even riding your bike, right? Taking a nice little stroll in the evening. But all those little things do really help you stay active. And it's way better than just, you know, staying at home, staying laying down, scrolling on your phone, because like I was saying, it immediately makes you feel better. And that's the energy that you want to stay in, that high vibration, like you want to stay there. Because as soon as you start feeling a little bit low, a little bit sad, or, you know, these negative thoughts just come striking at you out of nowhere, you want to do something immediately to change that energy. So try to stay active, you know, and it could be anything. It could definitely be, maybe you just like to do push-ups in your bedroom or squats in the bathroom naked, or, you know, it could just be anything, honestly. But as long as you're staying active, I think that that's really important. And that also helps with your self-care. And, you know, you got to try to do all these little things. It does not matter where you want to start. You can start journaling. You can start through the meditation side. You can start through the workout and being active side. But as long as you start somewhere, you will soon realize that you're going to be doing the self-care, the meditation, the loving yourself, the working out, and then eventually you're going to be so consistent that you're going to need it. Your body's going to ask for it. You're going to wake up and you're going to want to manifest and do these meditations, and you're going to want to go work out because it makes you feel better and you want to stay within that energy right now.
Yeah. And like, do you have to like do it for long periods of time? No, absolutely not. You can go take a 10-minute walk. You don't have to freaking work out for 30 minutes, an hour, you know, especially if you're busy, if you have other things, like I said, going on. You don't have to dedicate so much time to something just to get started.
No, then you're right, because then you're just putting energy into that.
Yeah, until like, oh my God, like I have to do this. I have to.
Then immediately you're not enjoying it.
Yeah.
Then you're messing up right there. That's not how you're supposed to be doing it.
You should never say, I have to.
No, it should come naturally.
Yeah.
And if the active part isn't helping you, if that's not your thing right now, go do the other things.
Yeah. So you can start saying, I want to do this. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to want to wake up a little extra earlier to do this for my benefit so I can feel better. But another part that we struggle a lot with is the consistency. Why? Because life happens, right? So some things can cross your path and throw you out completely, and you stop believing and stop practicing the good things. And I'm going to give you one example. Like for me, I used to get, and I'm saying like used to, like as in almost like recently, get very upset when I couldn't complete like my workouts throughout the week. Because I would say a minimum of 3 workouts, right? And I would get very upset when I couldn't complete them. But there's no shame in not being able to complete them because of like your life or your daily demand of what you have to get done. You just need to know how to bounce back from things and say to yourself, it's okay, and forgive yourself. Because I feel like in addition to everything else that's already happening, we're also very harsh with ourselves. And that goes all the way back to the first thing. Love yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be kind, right? Forgive yourself for the smallest mistakes that you make.
It's definitely very important. And, just try your best to be consistent. You don't have to do it every single day, but as long as you do it, as long as you're still pushing yourself, then you will feel motivated to do it. And that's more than enough. Because then the moment that you start judging yourself, then you're not going to want to do anything. And, I really want to talk about this, limiting screen time.
Mm-hmm. It's a big one.
Yeah. Everybody enjoys being on their phone, scrolling, but it can be a little bit dangerous, right?
It could be a little bit detrimental, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So how can people, just stop and put away their phone and, focus on what they need to focus on?
So, not that I have the best healthy habits yet, but I will one day. But I really do try, like, if, for example, even if I'm, like, having some time for myself, it could be, again, anywhere from 5 minutes to a whole freaking hour. I try not to turn on the TV if I'm just relaxing and trying to, like, do a very, like, more in-depth meditation, or maybe even just spend time with our dogs, the simplest things, but being present in the moment. Then I'll literally put my phone away, or, and I'll just kind of like leave it away from me, from my, my reach, so I can focus on what I'm doing. And that's another thing that we can definitely like go into, like taking out your TV from your room. Right? I recently did that.
We literally just did that. And I know it sounds a little bit silly, but we actually did that. We removed our TV from our bedroom because we feel like a television, it's like a black mirror. It carries a lot of negative energy in it. It's like another portal, just like a mirror. So we try not to have mirrors or televisions facing our bedroom because we feel like that makes us feel a little bit more drained. It takes away our energy. So what we did is we just removed it. We took it out.
Yeah, and all things technology is great and fabulous, and
it is.
It helps us.
It can be draining though.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when I removed the TV, the next day I felt amazing. I felt well rested. I was even asking myself, like, whoa, like, what the hell? Did I sleep like 9-10 hours? Like, what the fuck's going on?
But no, you slept the same amount of time.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 or 7 hours. I think it was just 6 hours. And I felt so rested. It was weird. It was definitely something that sounds silly, but we decided to take action. And we actually did remove that. And we feel like it helped. So if those little things that can help you, if you want to try them, go ahead and do them. I mean, it works for us, right?
Yeah. Another thing is like, for sure, like maybe, and this is something that I still need to work on personally, but not looking at any emails, social media before you go to bed, at least an hour before you go to bed, or 30 minutes at the least. Especially if you work like through social media, or, whatever the case is, like, but just 30 minutes right before going into bed, so that way you can try to relax. I think that social media is very helpful, and I'm not, talking shit about it, but I think that also you don't want to feed things into your subconscious, especially like if you look, I don't know, at something that's very impactful, and it comes out on the news or, social media news or whatever, or somebody posts something or somebody tells you something negative, you don't want to go to sleep having those thoughts of like negativity or of, why the world's falling apart the way it is. You definitely want to make that time to kind of just recharge completely.
And that is a really great way to start protecting your energy.
Mm-hmm.
We want to study our emotions. We want to be present, and we want to know exactly what we are feeling in the moment. And, sometimes we have to put ourselves away. We have to protect our energies. The main goal here is to protect our energy. And how do we protect our energy? When somebody mentions something negative, when somebody tries to make you feel bad about yourself, when you see something on the news, when you read something you don't like, we don't want to put our energy in that. Don't waste your time. Even if you're fighting with your partner, don't feed into it. Even if your mom or dad, mentioned something and they made you feel uncomfortable about dinner the other night, don't feed into it. Don't keep it going. Don't keep your thoughts there. You have to move on. And sometimes it's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no to that dinner party that makes you feel very uncomfortable, to the point that you're thinking like, oh my God, I have to dress up this certain way because they're going to judge me. Or, oh my God, what am I going to talk about when they ask me this?
Yeah. As soon as you start feeling that anxiety, just like with Natalie was saying, that's a fucking sign right there. Like, don't even fucking go. Don't even spend your energy, your time. Your time is everything. Do not go spend your fucking time if you're already feeling anxious about what the fuck you're gonna wear, who's gonna be there, what are they gonna think about me. You see, those thoughts are just like draining all along.
Yeah.
You're not protecting your energy. If you feel like it's not happening naturally, don't do it and don't waste your time.
Yeah. You have to really surround yourself with people with kindness and that are serving you in a kind, positive way, as I'm sure you're serving them, right? Because we're all here listening to this podcast. And if you've obviously made it in this deep, then I'm pretty sure that you're a great person and a great individual that has really good goals in life and really wants to make it really far and heal inside and out. So I'm there with you. Evelyn's there with you. And we both have sometimes felt that we have to go an extra mile and have to pretend like we're something that we're not, for people just to have this standard of us and, in their head. And it could be family, friendships, co-workers, a boss. It could be anybody. So surround yourself with people who are strong, who are going to uplift you, who are not going to shame you for who you are, who are going to, instead of like saying, oh, you did this wrong, hey, let me teach you how to do it the right way for next time.
We need to stay within that high vibration, that high positive energy. Anything that makes you feel happy.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that makes you feel comfortable, because all the other stuff, do not put it near you. Do not let it get near you.
Yeah, definitely. You really want to be able to stay in a high vibration, not only for yourself, but eventually it's going to start pouring over you, and like you're going to be able to do it for other people. And that's what we want. We want to be able to help not only you as our listener, but help other people as well. Maybe you're the one to show them this podcast. Maybe you're the one to teach them of the things that you've learned after you listen to this podcast. But definitely, like I said, I know everybody's just trying to live their best life and be very authentic and just live in harmony. And we all want the same things. So we definitely have to stay focused on getting our vibration high and protecting our energy from anybody who comes and wants to steal it.
Yeah, I mean, for example, like, who are you hanging out with? Who are you giving your time to? How are you letting other people treat you? Are you respecting yourself? Where are you right now in your life? How do you feel? Do you feel more sad and full of anxiety? Or, are you even trying to start your healing process? Are you trying to be happy? If you're in that negative energy right now, you need to try to do something to start that healing process so that you can be happier. And you know, because we just want everybody to feel at their best, because everyone deserves it. We're all beautiful souls and we all deserve love. We all deserve a beautiful life full of abundance and health and happiness and love. So do not think otherwise, because that is definitely not true.
You're definitely worth it.
You're a fucking king. You're a fucking boss ass bitch, okay? Like, if you need those boundaries, like, you need to put them up, girl. Like, or guy, or whoever's listening, man. Because that, just starting to have boundaries will, oh my God, it will change your life. People will start having more respect for you.
Exactly. I think that's one of the things that I really had to do, is just start putting boundaries and like saying no, because I felt like I was such a people pleaser. Obviously, breaking those habits were really hard for me personally, but that's one of the best things that, like Evelyn said, you can do. Just, if something doesn't feel right, man, just say no, and that's it. You do not have to give anybody an explanation as to why. No. Whoever really loves you is going to be there for you regardless.
Yeah. All in all, guys, we just want to remind you to stay focused, do your meditations, do your self-care, love yourself, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Don't start, being judgmental and thinking, oh, fuck, well, why do they have that and I don't? Don't start thinking negative like that. Like, that is not worth it. You need to focus on yourself. You need to stay on track, and you need to start thinking positive, because remember that the moment that you start thinking negative, you are not in that high vibrational level, and you're not going to be able to attract anything more positive.
Guys, embrace and love yourself. Be the best person that you can be. Be your authentic self. You're worthy of living this life to the best of your ability, right? Keep that positive attitude. Keep that positive and high vibration. And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to open up our hearts. Nothing has been perfect, but all in all, we just want to say thank you for listening, for sticking with us, and for appreciating our content. And just know that we're doing this out of the kindness of our hearts, and we just want to share with the rest of the world to make this world more beautiful. Right, Evelyn?
Yes, I definitely agree. I mean, we are very genuine people. We just want to give so much love, but like Natalie said, we have to give it our best, guys. We have to make each day count. So remember to start as soon as possible with these little exercises. Start now, start today, start tomorrow morning, but don't let it be too late, okay? Take that first step for yourself, and to start this journey of loving yourself, doing the self-care work, working out, being consistent, limiting screen time, right? And protecting your energy so that you can have that high vibration, so that you can be a little bit more happier, and, start having those boundaries, right? Anyways, guys, thank you again. And don't forget, stay golden.
Stay golden.